Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and this is day 17 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body course. Today's protein source is going to be sardines, and today is a chest training workout. And the theme for today's workout is assisted PNF stretching. So right now, I'm going to be demonstrating how to perform contract relax PNF stretching. Now let's get started. And while we were resting, let's continue with the PNF demonstration. We just did the medial rotators of the hip, so now we're going to focus on the lateral rotators of the hip. For the lateral rotators, because we're stretching the lateral rotators, we're going to be taking the patient into medial rotation. And for this first one, we are going to flex the hip to 30 degrees. Once again, the different hand positions, you can just stabilize at the ankle. And with one hand, what you could do is just lift and then push them to the inside. What they would do, so you take them into medial and then they would inhale, push out away from you, and then exhale, you lift, you lean, get a little bit deeper. The other option is you could also just go from over here. So you could just pull, and then using this arm, what you could do is you can use it as a fulcrum. So you would lift, rotate your body, take them into medial rotation, and then what they would do is they would either go into lateral rotation or they would push the medial malleolus into your forearm. But they would inhale, press, and then you would exhale, take them deeper into medial rotation. And at 30 degrees, when the hip is flexed at 30 degrees, the lateral rotators that we're going to be stretching is primarily going to be the piriformis, the superior fibers of the piriformis, and also the posterior fibers of the gluteus maximus muscle. We're also going to be getting some stretch in the obturator internus, the obturator externus, and the quadratus femoris, so the deep lateral rotators of the hip. And then some secondary muscles that we're going to be getting stretched out is going to be the superior gemellus and inferior gemellus, also part of the deep rotators of the hip. And to some extent, we're going to be getting a little bit of the sartorius. Then what we would do from here is we would do the exact same thing, only this time we are going to be going into flexion of 60 degrees. So we're going to go a little bit more elevated, and we could do the same thing. We could either place the foot down, anchor at the foot, place one hand on the outside, and then we would inhale, push those, we would lift up, push them to the inside, so we're taking them into medial rotation, and they would exhale and push up against us, and then inhale, lift, lean over. The other option, again, you take your hand underneath, you could stabilize with the opposite arm at the distal femur, and then we would pull out, and we would go into medial rotation. And then they could either laterally rotate at the femur or push the medial malleolus of the ankle into your forearm. On the inhale, they would contract. On the exhale, you pull out, lean, and then rotate with them, going more into medial rotation. When we are doing medial rotation at 60 degrees, what's going to happen is the muscles that are going to be getting stretched are primarily going to be the deep lateral rotators of the hip. So we've got the obturator internus, obturator externus, and the quadratus femoris. We are also going to be getting some of the gluteus maximus muscle, and we're going to be targeting a little bit of the posterior fibers of the gluteus maximus muscle. And then some secondary muscles that we are going to be stretching, we're going to be getting a little bit of the piriformis, specifically the superior fibers of the piriformis. And this is really where it starts shifting a lot more. So when we start getting past 60 degrees, this is when you're likely going to get more into the piriformis. Then we're also going to be getting the superior gemellus, and with regard to, and inferior gemellus as well. With regard to these ones, we're getting a little bit less involved with regard to the superior and inferior gemellus compared to the other deep lateral rotators of the hip. And then the final one that we're going to be stretching is going to be the sartorius. With regard to the sartorius, we're getting minimal stretch in this position, but it is going to be stretched a little bit. But anyway, our rest period is up. Time for set number 4. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.